Welcome to your Activations with JJ Energy Update for February 1st, 2021. Thank you for joining me to start off this week. I feel like we all need to take a really deep breath and then exhale out. January 2021, it is done. We can release that energy. We can start fresh with this new month. The energy update just happens to fall on the first day of the month. And so it's a great opportunity for us to just make that transition, to shift and change with what is being presented to us for February. Just looking back on January, though, it's always good to reflect. It's always good to think of how you expanded, how you grew, and what you learned. And so I'd like you to just take a moment to do that. You might think about some of the energy updates you listened to, or if you had any personal breakthroughs or activations. Just take a moment right now to ponder what those were and to also express gratitude for being where you are today, because you wouldn't be who you are today or where you are today without the experiences that you had yesterday or the day before or the day before. And I love using that framework because I think sometimes we doubt ourselves, we doubt our choices, we don't trust ourselves. But if you knew that every step you took in the past was there for a reason and got you to where you are today, then you would know that there's no need to have a regret. Because I always believe, and I truly believe, that we're always doing the best we can every moment. Otherwise, we would do differently. It isn't bad, however, to set an intention for the future to make choices that are for our greatest and highest good. I feel like sometimes we also think that mistakes that we make aren't for expansion, but to be honest with you, I really do feel that mistakes are expanding as well. Both the things we do quote unquote right and the things we do quote unquote wrong are going to give us experiences which will lead to expansion. Experience leads to expansion, right? That's exactly what Source did when it expanded and went through the creation of all of the universe, of which we are a part. Just a few things to think about as you start off this new month. As we enter into the channeled portion of the energy update, as you know, I've gotten into the habit of channeling a particular energy, which then gives us some insights into this coming week. I usually prepare in advance so that I can set an intention to channel what will be for our greatest and highest good. And coming into this week, I had a synchronicity or a little reminder, or I don't want to call it a coincidence, but something was put before my view, or I attracted it, since we all have free will. I drew it towards myself. And I felt like that would be a great energy to tap into for this coming week. So I was actually listening to another podcast, and they were channeling ancestral wisdom, or ancestors, really is the way they put it. Earth's ancestors. So in preparing for this, I kind of thought, well, what would I call that? Like, how would I set an intention to connect with that? What would I name that energy so that I can attract it or connect with it? And the wording that I came up with was Earth's collective ancestral wisdom. It's kind of the way I put it. I don't know if that's a technical term. Somebody else might word it a little bit differently, but that was the best way for me to identify what I wanted to connect with for you in this energy update. So take a moment with me and let's draw that energy towards us together and settle into it. Oftentimes when I'm connecting to an ancestral energy, I hear drums. I feel a very primal energy. Fresh is a way that I might identify it. Thank you for calling forth Earth's ancestral wisdom as embodied in the collective which I represent. I come to you under the nomenclature by which many know me of white buffalo calf woman. I am humbled by your request for information and for guidance, and I come to you with the deepest love. Let us take a moment to remember the circle of life, and to remember our connection with the ancestors, to remember our roots, as some might put it. We bless you, our children. We honor you, our children. We encourage you, our children. We have prepared for you, our children. And now it is your time. Your time to shine. Your time to step into the greatness for which you were intended. I do not have, as is typically requested for these energy updates, 3 particular items. Rather, I desire to express one powerful concept. And that is the concept of connection. We realize that many of you feel disconnected at this time. Many of you feel out of place. Many of you feel lost. Many of you feel alone. And this collective wants you to understand that your isolation is an illusion. And we do not judge you for inviting that experience of isolation, for without an experience of isolation, you may not fully understand an experience of connection. But at this time, for those of you feeling depleted or powerless or alone, we invite you to open your eyes to the grand tapestry of which you are a part, to the beautiful chain of human beings to which you are connected. Take a moment now to visualize that chain. To visualize the strands which are woven in the tapestry. To visualize the roots, the tree and the branches. You might call it your family tree. Breathe it in, dear ones. Breathe it in, my children. Breathe it in. This connection provides you access to all you need to know to expand and to shift. This connection provides you with wisdom. Your inheritance is wisdom. And that is what is needed at this time on this planet. A remembrance of the wisdom which has been gathered through the ages. A connection to the wisdom which has been gained through blood, sweat, and tears, through the suffering, through the expansion of those who came before you. And again, we remind you that those who came before you are not separate from you. You are all one. We are all one. Their suffering was your suffering. Their expansion was your expansion. We all ascend together. So reach out. Connect with us. Connect with that part of yourself which we represent. For again, there is truly no separation. We are all one, and that is what must be taught in this new age. We are not colors, we are not races, we are not tribes. We are all source. We are all love. In gratitude, in honor, and with the utmost compassion, I leave you with this message. Again, in behalf of all those who came before, the wisdom of the ancestors of Gaia. And so it is.